Stolen Fate, except Stolen Fate hasn't started yet. I don't know when it's going to start. I'm thinking the end of January. That's what I'm thinking. So we have time. We have time. This isn't even the Stolen Fate dashboard. This is Skyhaven. What are we doing here? So we're continuing to work on infrastructure for the 2025 games. Infrastructure for those 2025 games. Okay. So what does it mean that we're trying to do infrastructure for the 2025 games? It means that I want to be able to do stuff like this, like middle mouse wheel, select a macro that I need. I want to have this cool shit down at the bottom, organize my stuff. I want to be able to quickly open up my calendar. I want to be able to see the clock in multiple places at once. All that kind of stuff. Now, since the last prep stream, I have been working offline to learn even more stuff about Foundry. And one of the things that I was learning about is regions. That's what this is called. Regions. So check this shit out. Kyra, she walks into this fire zone, she catches on fire. She leaves the fire zone, she's not on fire. She goes into this elevation zone, height goes up to 10. She leaves, height goes back to 0. She's gonna head over here. I don't remember what this one does. Oh, I know what it does. It's an attacher. It's an attacher. She goes over here. Oh, what's this? Oh, teleport? Yeah, well, sure. Teleports over. Fantastic. What if I go here? Teleport back? Yeah. Sounds good to me. Alright. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. You'll notice, though, that when she teleported, her height didn't change, right? It stayed at 10, but it changed here. That is because this scene has levels, and this teleporter is up on the roof. So, if she needed to reach this teleporter, she'd have to go up in height. Technically, this teleporter doesn't require you to go down to its level. So what we'd have to do here is go in and change it. So we're going to add another behavior here. And it's going to be the height adjuster. I'm trying to remember what that one's called. All right, let me go grab the language from this other one. All right, behavior, set elevation. Nice. Okay. So over here, in addition to offering up the teleport, we want it to change the height. So I think we'd have to add this and trying to remember. We got set terrain, we got stairs, suppress, set elevation. Okay. Alright. So I think we can actually do it. Let me go in here. Set elevation, one-way stairs. Okay. So, am I running any specific APs coming up or homebrew things? Oh, in 2025, I'm going to run Stolen Fate, which will be heavily modified and is designed to be the second half of Outlaws Alkenstar. So, it's not going to be like steampunk cowboy themed, but it's going to feature players from my Outlaws Alkenstar game. Starting Kingmaker, that's kind of a big one. And then I do have a complete homebrew game that I'm running next year, also. Alright, so over here, we're going to add a behavior, and we're going to do stairs. There we go. And we're going to be set elevation 0. This should work. All right. And let's see, stairs top, stairs bottom. And maybe? All right. Save it, update. All right. Let's see if this works. Okay. So Kyra at a height of 10, she walks onto the teleporter. Teleporter says you're going to go down here. She goes down there, and it strips the height down to 0. And then I have to go down to the ground to see Kyra. Hype. All right, Kyra walks in here. She's going to teleport over. Beautiful. So yeah, I've been learning how to use regions and all the stuff that goes with regions. So pretty happy about that. Oh, her height got set to 0 when she stepped out of that one. We don't want that to happen. All right, so update that one. We want her to stay at that height. So let's see. Let's head back over here. Yeah, teleport over. Height 10. Fantastic. When she walks off. Why did your height go down? Because you shouldn't still be controlled by this guy. Alright, not 100% sure why that's happening. If I can get these guys figured out, I can use it in my Castle Ravenloft game to actually control like the height that people are at automatically and get them to teleport between the misaligned staircases on the different maps, which would be tremendous. But as you can see, when I move off of there, the height goes down. So what's probably happening is I'm just not saving the changes. Reset on edit is fine. Wait. You shouldn't have set elevation. There you go. That should only be on this one. Oh, I think I set it on the wrong one. Alright, hold on. So we want stairs. And then we want set elevation to 0. I don't know if that's gonna work actually. Because we want it when it teleports to it to be set to 0. Alright, let's see what we could do. Alright, so stairs top, stairs bottom, 0. And save, update. Alright. So head over, teleport up. Excellent. We're going to step off of it. No! Why? Why are you linking them together? Alright. Behaviors, teleportation. So it's throwing it up to that height, but then it's not keeping the height, or it's keeping the height too much. Because if I go back to here and get rid of that, alright, she should teleport up to 10 and then stay there. Yeah. Alright, hype. And then she moves around, she stays there. Huh. I wonder if the user ID has changed. That could be why it's doing that. Alright. So let's see. Go to region, go here, copy the UUID, go to this one, teleport that token, get rid of this, paste that in, Update. Save. Save. Update. Update. Alright. Back to the roof. Okay. Go in here. Teleport over. Son of a bitch! I wonder why it doesn't teleport them down. There's still a lot about this I'm still trying to understand, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to go to her height. I'm going to manually set her back down to 0. And so over here, I got this pool. The idea of the pool was when you go into this, it tells you that you're in water. And then it would apply like an effect that shows that you have water. Hey, what's up, Dom? So you go in here and tell you that you have water, blah, blah, blah. So like 5e has a lot better support for this kind of stuff than Pathfinder 2e. In 5e, you can actually force them to change their movement type from walking to swimming. You could just be like, you have to use swim speed here. And if you don't have swim speed, like, suffering. But also, I think in Pathfinder, if you don't have a swim speed, you're pretty effed. So you have to do like skill checks and everything else like that. But we could set this tile up to do a couple of the things that I mentioned. So if we went in here for the pool, and we went over to behaviors, we could say that we could set the terrain, and we'll call it water. And then we'll select the water terrain, and then we'll save it. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and add another one, and that's going to be a macro, execute macro, and it's going to be wet. Okay. And then it's going to be token enters, token moves, token ends turn. Nah, it's definitely token enters. And then we go here and we drag over this water effect and we update. Okay, so now when she goes in here, it will tell us, oh, if you use the default ruler. Okay, so we move in, and look at that. She's got a little aqua effect, and she's got a little thingy that says she's in water. That's pretty sick. But then when we move out, it doesn't go away. So it's kind of cool. But I don't know. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So like I could go and hit like a macro while I have her selected to remove that. You know, I could be like, hey, get rid of that effect, and then we could manually like right click and say you're not in the water anymore. I haven't figured out how to like strip away. Instead of macro, I use effect. What are you talking about? I didn't think that worked for Pathfinder either, dude. Let me see. Alright, delete it. Let's see. Yeah, there is no effect, man. We got adjust darkness, despawn, scrolling text, elevator, environment feature, execute macro, execute script, link token, pause game, set minimum cover, set terrain, spawn preset, stairs, suppress weather, teleport token, toggle behavior, and trigger tile. Now, if you're talking about regional active effects, I had that installed. That didn't seem like it did anything, because I'm pretty sure that was meant for convenient effects from 5e. And the effects that you have on your character sheet versus over here where we use items for everything. So I don't know. I couldn't get it to work. Let's see. Here, I'll show you. Manage modules. Region active effects. Here you go. Turn it back on. Like, I would love for, like, effects to work in Pathfinder 2, but, I mean, I got it to work in a 5e world I was practicing with. Like, you could turn on any active effect with that. That's great. Alright, we'll head back over to practice terrain.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, man?
How's it going?
I mean, it's good, but frustrating because there's like just little tiny things that don't seem to make sense. So, like, we used to have token magic effects that would toggle, but now all the effects don't have a toggle built in. So do we have to go in and recode them all to have toggles again? Like,
no. So what you can do is don't have them tied to a macro. Like you have to press the macro to put it on. You have it tied to an effect.
Yeah,
so
but
like you go to
isn't an option though.
It is an option in Pathfinder. If you make an item, you can make an item that's an effect.
Okay.
And you can also have effects in the
item effects.
The bottom there's one there's one that's
all right. I got it, and we're gonna call it.
And you can drag that on.
Burning.
You can drag that on the top of people, and you can make that burning.
Okay.
And then what you want to do, however you name it, doesn't matter. As long as you keep that name. What you want to do is then go to the automatic animations. There's a tab called effects, and you just put the name in there, and you tell it to call that macro.
I see. All right.
Anytime somebody gets any type of effect that has the name burning in it, it will run that macro.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
Hold on. Let me catch that away.
Go to. All right. So we got burning as an effect. We'll just make it level 0. There we go. And then we go to. Where are we going?
You're going to go to automatic animations, the module.
Automatic animations. Got it. Launch menu.
And then and in that menu, there's a thing that says active effects.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's a huge list that's already been built out. Usually for Pathfinder, you just add burning.
I only have frightened.
Oh, you only have frightened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you only have frightened?
I don't know.
Let me find out.
Is there another mod you download specifically for Pathfinder for automated animations or whatever?
Maybe.
Let's check. Let's see.
Yeah, let me see here.
Modules. Automated polymorph, more automated spells, automated conditions, automated objects. Okay, hold on. Alright, automated animations.
Okay, there it is. It's called PF2e animation macros. I think that's what it's called. I don't know if you have it.
PF2e animation macros. I don't even see it. PF2e animation macros?
Yeah.
I don't see it in the store. Let me see if it's already installed. I've got PF2e animation macros. Yeah, I see it. Okay, so I have it installed. Yeah, so.
Okay, so find that in the options, and there's going to be a button that says sync rules.
That's
or something like that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Update menu.
Yeah, update menu, and then update everything, and then it will go to your automatic animations, fill in everything for Pathfinder.
There it is. Yeah. I had to do this on the current games. Yep, I just forgot that you had to fucking manually do it on each world. All right, I'll add that to the list.
It's supposed to when you first open it up, this menu's supposed to pop up and say, "Hey, you need to update."
It said sync, and I was like, sure. And it's like, there's nothing to sync, and I was like,
oh boy.
And I was like, okay. I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Okay. Hold on. Let me add this to my list of crap to do for the other 2 games.
Yeah. Let me go to that that map that I did with the swimming, so I can see if I can figure out why that would have the effect thing.
All right. So we have that done. We hit save changes. Okay. We'll go back to settings. We'll go to automated animations up here at the top. And launch menu. Oh, now it's got a ton of active effects.
Yeah, they're all figured out already for you.
Like a crap load. Okay. Yep. All right, but I want to add a new one, right?
So yeah, you could just hit the little plus sign at the.
I see it.
And then type in the name, and the name is not like case sensitive or anything like that. It's just those letters, and it will also sort of take anything that has that in it. So if something's like super burning, and you just type in burning here, super burning will use burning because it has the word burning in it.
Got it. So I got burning. I'm gonna hit the downward facing arrow. All right. Add a macro. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you say macro only, and you just put the macro name in.
Oh, okay. And the macro name, I believe, is also burning. Let me see. Browse macros, token effects, fire, all capital letters. All right. Fire.
Whatever your name of your macro is.
Yeah. All right. When to play concurrent with animation, and animation type on token.
So you would want to set it that little drop down for when to play. Just make it be macro only.
Oh, okay. Macro only, no animation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all it does is that when they get the effect, it does the macro. When it takes all the effect, it removes the macro.
Okay. The preview for burning is playing this weird bless.
It shouldn't have. It's not going to have a preview because there's no.
Oh, I got you.
VTT animation.
Okay, so with that done, it doesn't look like there's any save button here. So it just saves, saves as you go?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it saves as you go.
Okay. So now, if I go to test this effect, and
just drag the effect onto your token.
All right, it says burning, but she is not actually on fire.
Okay, double check the name of the macro compared to the name that you put inside there. Okay. The name of the macro is called fire.
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
The macro is called fire.
It's all capitalized, I think.
Yeah. I could copy the UUID. Do you think that would be better?
It usually doesn't use the UUID. It uses just the name. I'm surprised it didn't work.
All right. Let's see. And then it's stuffed burning down at the bottom, not alphabetically. That's kind of weird. Maybe I have to close it out all the way. Maybe. All right. Turn off burning. Hey, there it goes. All right. So I had to close it. For it to commit the changes.
Okay.
All right. So now we've got to remove it from her manually. So hold on. Okay. Now if we drag burning over to her, she's burning. All right. So you're saying, hey, wait, when I turn burning effect off, she's still burning.
It didn't turn it off?
No. That's the problem I'm having. These don't have toggle on them. They don't have toggle on them. I feel like we used to have them set to toggle.
Yeah, I know the ones that we made when we were first doing this, and we had to like make a bunch of them. There was like a code that we got from the thing that we used to. I think I have it on one of mine. Hold on, I can give you.
I know. I tried to look in the older 5e worlds, and I couldn't find any that still had the toggle.
I think I might have it. One second.
Okay. Because it's like check for this macro already running. And if it is running, turn it off. Else, run this macro, essentially.
Yeah. I have it. Hold on.
Okay, hell yeah.
I have it for my flying.
Well, for flying was definitely one of the ones that we had it on.
Here it is. I found it. You want to put this at the end?
All right.
I'm gonna put it in Discord.
Okay. But then I have to update all of my macros. But that's okay. As long as we have
And
it.
you want to rename the where it says flying FX to be whatever the token, wherever the effect ID is for your macro.
And you're saying this boy go down at the bottom?
Yeah, all the way at the bottom, past the closed bracket.
The await parameters go even further than that.
No, you delete the await. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you a screenshot of what it looks like.
Okay, so delete await token magic and put this instead.
Yeah, it looks like this.
Okay.
The bottom.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Close. All right. Square bracket. Close square bracket. Semicolon. And then yeah, remove this and put this code in. Got it. All right.
You just have to rename the effect ID.
All right.
To,
effect
whatever
ID is all capital letters fire. Delete all capital letters fire.
You need to go. You need to scroll over to the top of your effect and make sure that the whatever the filter ID is for that macro is the same.
Oh, okay. The filter ID actually says my purifier shadow.
But that's what it should match. That's what it should match.
Okay. So not the macro name, but the actual token ID.
You can, but that could be whatever you want. You can change that to just be all capital letters fire, and in the bottom one be all capital letters fire.
Gotcha. All right. Else token magic add update filter on selected params. All right. So we saved that out. And now, if I apply burning to her, she's burning. If I turn it off, she's still burning. Son of a bitch.
It didn't work?
It doesn't look like it worked. Hold on. What if it didn't take my changes because I edited it there? Let me see. No, it has it down here. My purifier shadow, my purifier shadow. Alright, why don't we test it without the status effect? So, turn this off. Okay. Fire, and click it again. No, doesn't toggle it off. Can you send me the whole flying FX one, and I'll punch that in, see what happens. Okay. It's so simple looking, the flying effects one. It's weird. All right.
So here's both the effect and the macro. So here's the macro. Macro first.
Okay.
Then here's the effect. Here's the actual effect.
All right. So here's the macro. And we'll go in here. Change it from chat to script. Put flying FX. All right. Gotta go give it the little wings. You know, gotta give it the little wings. Alright, token EF flight.
I mean, you can just if you had save, you can just right click import.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Alright. It says advanced macro joint validation error with this JavaScript. Ugh.
Oh. Is there a mod that I have?
Nah, it just came in with a nasty format. Alright, hold on. Alright, download it. Open it up. No, it does have a real nasty format. When I copy it out.
Yeah.
Huh.
You gotta import it, I guess. Because I exported it.
Oh,
I didn't just copy paste.
Maybe the first one you sent me was the item. No? No?
Oh, the first one I sent you was the macro, but I exported it and sent you the file, the JSON file.
Oh, nah, man. Just send me the good stuff.
Oh, the text? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I could have just gone and imported the thing right over the stuff, but
All
right, there we go. Okay, that's way bigger. So let params equal blah blah blah. All right, put that in, save macros. Now we got flying. All right, I'm gonna go over here and we're gonna execute. All right, she's tilting left and right. She's a drop shadow. Click it again, turns off. All right, and then you sent over this JSON of a flying effect. So I'm gonna duplicate burning, and we'll import over the top of that.
And you would have to go inside active effects. I mean, active effects, the automatic animations, and make one that's named flying.
Ah, okay. All right. I think I did it right. No, it doesn't seem like it did it. Import. Go over here. We got macro effects. Import.
Oh, I think I sent. I think I know I did. I sent you the macro of the effect and not the actual item.
Bro, you killing me.
I know. Let me find it.
I'll just build it myself. It's fine. All right, so we're gonna do flying FX, and then we're gonna go here. Well, we could just call it flying, right? And then if
it's called flying for me. Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll go here, and we'll put the flight icon on there. Okay, or not. Try again. Flight, select, nice. All right, then we're gonna go back to settings, automated animations, launch menu. We're gonna go over here to special effects. Can't we just go to their flying and like hack it, or should we not mess with it?
That's what I did.
Oh, okay.
I make that macro.
All right. Yeah. So we're gonna go into
fly. They had a drop shadow, and I. Well, their flying puts like the spell effect flying that they have already set up there. What it does the weird shadow, not shadow, like cloud of dust under you. Oh, that's cool. Like Dragon Ball Z flying. Whereas I made another one, but it's just the weird
thing. Can't they do both?
I mean, yeah, you could probably put it on both. Yeah.
Okay, so here I could just go to fly and do
that. But fly is different from flying.
Oh, fly is different from flying. Well, okay. All right. Let's see.
In terms of the way this thing tracks it, in terms of like you put in the effect on somebody, like it's gonna look for fly, and it's gonna look for flying.
Oh, I thought since fly is in the word flying, wouldn't it trigger both?
There's no space.
Oh, that's
if there was a space between fly and ing, then yes, it would trigger. It would trigger it.
Gotcha. All right, go to add macro, macro only. And then we go here and we put in flying FX. Beautiful. And that's it. It auto saves. We close it down to commit the save. All right. Now I've got this flying effect. I'm going to drag it over to her. All right. And then I'm going to right click it and it goes away. All right. So the toggle does in fact work with flying. Now we got to figure out why it doesn't work with fire. All right.
Can you export the flying effects that you have and send it to me? I mean, not flying, the fire.
Fire? Yeah, sure. Do you want me to, here? I'll just send you the code. You can look at it.
No. Export it, import it.
Oh, okay. Here you go. Export burning. Is that what you're after, or you're after the fire macro?
The fire macro, the actual macro.
All right. Export data and send it over to you.
Is this the one that did you get this from the
this is straight yeah, well this is straight out of the token magic effects compendium.
Okay.
Like this is straight out of that.
All
right. So it says in this version the glow is blending with the fire. This is important to show that the order of the filters is important. Okay. It could be that it's affecting like lighting, but I don't know why. Alright, so filter type, glow, filter ID. Oh, there's 2 filter IDs here. So there's filter ID My Pure Fire Shadow, and then there's another one called My Pure Fire Aura, and then there's another one called My Pure Fire.
All right, so that thing puts like 4 different effects on people.
Oh, so we have to fucking toggle all of them off, or go for something simpler?
You should probably have all them probably have the same ID.
Ooh,
Maybe?
you don't think that would mess it up?
I don't know. Find out.
Okay, hold on. We're going to duplicate it.
Either that or add them all at the bottom there with
Right. Yeah, I feel like in coding, each of these effects does have to have its own separate name.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add them at the bottom with a comma in between them.
Oh, I got you. So if token magic blah 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 is there, delete it. Comma. If blah 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 blah. Wait, no. We could just keep doing if statements over and over again. So we could do if that effect is there, if that effect is there, if that effect is there. I think we could do all of them. I like to think that like real programmers are like watching us try to do this, and they're just like, All right, so there's only three filter IDs: My Pure Fire Shadow, My Pure Fire Aura, and if I'm seeing this correct, My Pure Fire. So we just need to do it 3 times. All right. You would have thought it would have turned off part of the effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes me think that, whoops. Let's see. Here. Like, there's got to be a smarter way to just be like, turn all these guys off. I can only program like that scene in NCIS with 2 people typing on the same keyboard. Man. Alright, I'm gonna save it. Ooh, it says I don't like that shit. Must validate tokens, blah blah blah. Alright, well let me see what your code here. You technically call for the filter, you use the same name over and over again on your filter ID. So maybe we can make it work. Alright. So we're just gonna call it fire, all capital letters. And just completely break it. But I just exported it, so. Fire. Up here, this guy's name will be all capitals fire. This guy's name will be all capital fire. And this guy's name will be all capital fire. And it's gonna be like, you can't do that. That's not how programming works. Nope, it allowed it. Okay. Wait, why does she still have a flying effect? We turned that shit off? Okay. Fire on, fire off. We did it! We just changed all of them to fire, and for some reason, that didn't break anything. Okay. So now if we bring burning over, she catches on fire, and if we turn burning off, she's not on fire anymore. It doesn't have to make sense. We did it. Okay. So now we go over now we go over to our burning tile, and we go to behavior, and then you're saying not to worry about any of this stuff, and we're just going to apply an effect. So we're going to go to behavior.
Yeah, there should be one that, like, right now
effect.
I have.
Yeah, I have effect now, yeah.
Yeah, effect.
I think I had to install that mod. I had to reinstall that mod. Regional active effects or whatever. Because when earlier I was reading aloud to you the options, and it wasn't there, and now the option is there. So, and the difference is I turned it on. All right, so we got the effect down here. We're gonna call it on fire. All right, and we create the region, and then the effect, we just drag it in because I have another thing called Easy Regions installed.
Yep.
Easy Regions. All right, so we're going to drag that in, and then we're going to hit save, which is another feature of Easy Regions. We're going to update it. We're going to save it and update it. Alrighty. This Kyra, this poor cleric. It's been set on fire, drowned, teleported around. Okay, so here we go. She's gonna move in. Boop, boop, boop. All right, she's burning. She's on fire. She moves out of it. Not burning anymore. Nice. Nice. All right, so we gotta go to every single one of these and update the code. But we got it now. So hell yeah. And I got the flying effects again. That's good.
And now I have a burning macro.
Now you have a burning macro. Telling you we should consolidate all these like at the end. Consolidate all of them. So I don't suppose you know a way in Pathfinder an effect that would simulate difficult terrain. I feel like that's something we just have to like do manually, right? Because different characters are going to deal with it. Yeah, difficult terrain different ways, right?
Sadly, if we were using the actual built-in Pathfinder ruler, the region will do it automatically when you just set it to difficult terrain.
Got it.
But okay. since we're using the elevated ruler, and we want to right-click, waypoints, we don't get that. We don't get that functionality.
Damn, we're losing a lot of functionality for that.
Yeah, so we just have to do it manually. I just do it manually.
Do you?
What I did is I did make an effect called difficult terrain. It doesn't do anything. It just reminds people know that they're in difficult terrain when they're setting it.
Like when she goes in there and it says water. So I could just make an effect over here that says water, and then when they go in, the water will apply the water effect. But then, like, similar to fire, like the fire region, it'd be like a water region. So you could have like a difficult terrain region that just says you're in difficult terrain. Oh, and we could put like a frame around them that's got like vines or something.
Whatever you need to do. I didn't put any effect on it, but when you guys were fighting the drakes, when you stepped inside the water, you guys had greater difficult terrain as like a little symbol on your tokens.
Nice. Okay.
When you were fighting the drakes,
because you can add as many effects to a region as you want.
Yeah, and you also can set the height level of the region. So if somebody's like at elevation 5, and they're flying over it, they don't get affected by the region.
Gotcha. So I thought I was pretty clever earlier. I got levels set up here in this test world, or this test scene, and I've got these teleporters, right? So on the ground, Kyra walk onto this teleporter. It says, "You want to teleport?" She says, "Yes." And then it teleports her to height 10 and that teleporter, because that teleporter exists at height 10. So I thought I was like real smart. Listen to me. I thought I was real smart because I was like, I can fix Castle Ravenloft. The white whale of my VTT career, I can fix the broken staircases, right? Because I can go in here and since they don't match up evenly, I can have them teleport back and forth. Here's the problem, right? Kyra step off of here, she's still at height 10. That makes sense. It's fantastic. When she steps back on here and it says you want to teleport to TP1, I say yes. She doesn't go back down to that height though.
Yeah.
I don't know why that happens.
What's the height of the other region? Is the other region set up to maximum height? Or is it set up to...
let's see. Ooh, that could be it, right? So we go in here, and it is set with infinity. That's the problem. All right. So we save it, and we update it. All right, so let's go back to roof. And Kyra, she's still at height 10. So she's going to head on over. And she step in. And she go here. And the height goes to 0. Fuck yeah. All right. So that was the first square I made. That was before I had levels set up and everything. I didn't go back for it. Awesome. All right. Do you have the mod that lets you turn tiles into regions?
I saw it. I haven't used it yet.
All right. So this is how it works. On this little airship, there's a new option because we needed more options. You know what I'm saying? We needed more options. Called Region Attacher. And it lets you attach any region to a tile. Yeah, which is pretty sick.
I haven't installed. I haven't played with it yet.
Yeah, so that one's a good one. All right, so I guess enough of this right now. I want to show you before I go to work on the Harrow deck stuff. I want to show you this cool thing. If I hit the J button, journal, So
Is this
yeah.
the simple quest?
This is Simple Quest. This is Simple Quest. It is a paid feature, but let me
Yeah.
show you what's going on here. Let me show you what's going on.
You're gonna make me end up
All right.
spending some money here, crap.
Hashtag not sponsored. Ripper
You
didn't give
sure?
me
Because
no. Listen,
I'm about to be influenced.
you know I talk shit about everybody for everything. Okay, so like there's a lot of Ripper mods I don't like, but this is another one that's pretty good. This is another one that's pretty damn good. Like I'm gonna keep giving them money to have access to this one. Here's my thought process why I'm using this one before I show you this one. Forian's Quest Helper or whatever the hell it is free, and it's very good. It's very good, and it's free. Here's the problem I have. Much like paid games, in my opinion, have a higher chance of successfully completing, right? I feel like one of the big mistakes we're making with our Foundry mods is we're using free ones. Now listen to me. If I make a mod for free and then Atropos updates Foundry, I'm going to be like, shit, I don't really feel like updating this again. Do you know what I'm saying? But if I'm being paid, if I'm being paid every month by a bunch of people for the express reason of keeping the mods updated, I'm probably going to keep updating the mods. So so Forian's has actually changed hands at least twice since it was created. And like, what happens the next time it doesn't change hands, and now all of your quest information is gone? Do you know what I'm saying? It's gone. Yeah. So I was like, they're almost the same. But like one of them, the guy is motivated to keep it up to date and to take full ownership of it. The other guy is doing it as a favor to everybody. And if I'm going to be putting the next 3 years of like game information into a mod, I want it to be a mod that has a better chance of being supported that whole time. So that's the main reason I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do these paid Ripper mods. Anything that a Ripper mod can do, I'm gonna use a Ripper mod and get rid of the other mods, because it occurs to me that if this dude is doing it as like a job, just like Bailiwiki, right? So if there's like a Bailiwiki mod or there's a Ripper mod, I'm gonna go with those. I'm done like chasing after like cool mods that are free only to like have that mod get discontinued. And I don't blame the creators of those mods, because nobody should have to nobody should have to update and do a full overhaul of their mod every like 3 to 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Like Foundry updates way too much. But like these guys are willing to do it and they're getting paid. I mean, that to me that's a more stable product. All right, so here's what Journal does. You hit the J button, you bring up Journal. You got sections. By the way, this stores to your cookies the tutorial. And the tutorial is actually pretty good. But essentially, there's different sections. It does different things. Blah, blah, blah. Quests. Quest details. You can change the font size. There's like a lot of different themes, too. You can change like the themes. There's like a cyberpunk theme, which is pretty cool. And there's like an old-timey newspaper theme, which might have been kind of cool for Outlaws. But here's how quests work. So they're just journal entries, but then they are displaying differently based on what the journal entry is. So if I open up Pizza for Luigi, okay, you can see that page templates, here's how it works. Here's how you format it. So anything that's header 2 is going to show up as a sub quest. And then bulleted items using bulleted list show up as checkboxes. Right? Pretty simple. All right. And then you could throw pictures in there and all the other stuff you could normally do with a journal entry. So as you're going through, there are these little pink boxes. Oh, by the way, these are the different themes. So here's Cyberpunk. Look at that shit. That's pretty cool. Space. It's got like the space font. Mystic Forest. And a sci-fi console. Futuristic tech, ancient scrolls. Not a big fan of that one. It's kind of burning out my eyes. I really like the default one quite a bit. Typewriter, so like Call of Cthulhu kind of thing going on. Yeah, I was really impressed. Anyways, so as we're going through the quest, you can see that if I go to Pizza for Luigi, I got to find the Lost Clay Oven of Italia. One of these quest items is a secret. So all you got to do to hide stuff and unhide it is you just click this little check thing here, and that'll toggle it from being secret and not secret, which is cool. And then when people complete it, you check it off, and then it says, hey, there's been progress on this quest. And then as they finish up the quest, those items get finished, and when they finish all the subquests, the main quest gets finished, and then you say, all right, put it in complete, and then it gets moved to the completed section. And if they fail the quest, no wait, less evil. If they fail the quest, oh no, you put it in the failed section. And you can actually make as many sections as you want, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So then there's a lore section. This is where you can have locations, NPCs, bestiaries, organizations, and history. You can add anything you want here. All this is journal entries, and they're just presented in like a sexier way. That's all they are. So yeah, pretty cool. Then they've got, where is it? Let's see, Party Journal. So Party Journal is 100% always available to the players. So, gosh, I wish it wasn't showing me the tutorial again. But like, you could put like the pictures, the backstory. The players all have access to this, and they all have editing rights. So this is a shared note-taking document. So they can all like come in here and just organize it however they want, have their allies, talk about whatever they want. They can just organize it over here. Then there's a journal for each player. So the GM gets their own journal, and then every player has their own journal tab. Same idea. You can have categories. You can have as many journal entries as you want. You can set it up any way you want. An achievement system over here, which don't know. Yeah. So you can just give them achievements similar to that, Party Helper Deluxe mod or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can have like achievements here, and these are just journal entries, and then you kind of set them up. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, why won't it delete? Well, I'll figure it out later. And then there's timeline. Not a huge fan of timeline, but I think it'll be good for like Kingmaker. So basically, major events, you just put them in here, and you can actually give them like banners. So like you can kind of scroll through and see like founding of the kingdom, founding of this settlement, war with so and so, and then you could actually have like a timeline that you like scroll through of all the things that happened in the campaign, which I think is kind of neat. Yeah, we could even combo that with the fact that we stream games, so you could go into the timeline and then you could say like
session.
Yeah, session such and such, and then like it shows you where in the chronology or whatever of the campaign that session happened, and you just link to the video.
That could have been good in Mythic for us knowing what were we doing when, this part. What session was that?
Absolutely. And then over here they do have a bestiary tab. I think that the bestiary mod is probably better just because of journal bloat. As you know, journals are the #1 reason that worlds start to slow down and get janky. So while this is a very cool mod, I don't think it needs to do everything. So I probably won't recommend they use it for bestiary. But then the last thing, the thing that makes me very sad, because I worked really hard to set up 500 something different hexes of hex map for Skyhaven. They have this map feature. All right, so the map tab shows all the maps. Maps are over here. You can do stuff with the maps. There's special controls. There's fog of war. There's special icons. So if I go into the Cloud Seas, you can see here's the Cloud Seas, and then wherever I left click, I could just put down a map marker, and then I could name the map marker and then add a description to the map marker, and then it can be hidden from players or revealed to players. And then there is the fog of war feature where you can go in and get rid of the fog of war, or add the fog of war as needed as they're exploring, without this needing to be a separate scene. So you could have maps in the journal, and that's how the players explore the world. So Curse of Strahd, this would have been huge. Because then you guys would have had full control, easy controls. Not trying to deal with like the text generation tool and like overlapping them on top of each other and selecting them. You would just be able to like click, grab any icon you want from here, set it up, save it. Really, really nice. So I think the journal is awesome. But yeah, it would be a pain to add it to a campaign that's already in progress. But I think for these new campaigns, I think that's going to be a great one. Oh, also I found another one. You know how we hero stack our minis?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a mod called Hero Crunch, and the video to promote it is absolutely hilarious. It's like this German guy pretending to be a bunch of goblins, and it's like really, really funny. But essentially what Hero Crunch does is you hit one macro button and it hero stacks everyone into a single new unit. And then when you need to unpack them, you hit the unpack button, and then everybody one by one, like they're climbing out of a clown car, like gets back out. But it would allow...
Don't need a mod for that. Like the party token does that.
Yeah, but like I'm talking about for like the B team, like following the party.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Like it's like really good. It can like just kind of like you can grab up to 25 units and turn them into a single icon, which for Kingmaker could be pretty good for armies, right? Like I could put all of the units in an army into like one or two miniatures, and then they could be represented actively on the map, and then when I need them I can just unpack them into their full contingent or whatever. So overall I'm pretty happy with that one. Yeah, so there's like some pretty good ones. All right, so the other thing I want to do in prep today is Fanspiration. So we've talked about it on the staff channel. I've talked about it with friends and family. Viewers, the few that we have, they like to feel like they're helping out. And I like that. I thought it was a fun thing to do. When I got affiliate and I was like, what could I put on the thing with channel points? I don't know. I was like, that'll be fun. Fanspo. And Fanspo was like, cool at first. It was very cool. Then it started to get a little like, wow, we have a lot of Fanspo. And then there was so much Fanspo that I didn't really feel comfortable like giving out inspiration anymore in game because everybody already had Fanspiration. And then like it was really hard to get people to do the recap because nobody needed inspiration because they're just sitting on a mountain of inspiration. And it was like, it's cool that the players feel loved and respected by the people following the games and they help each other out. Oh my god. And then there's a perfect example of it. And so it's cool, right? It's cool to like support your favorite games. And the other aspect of it was less for me, but more for like player streamers, right? Like player streamers, they don't get compensated. We don't run ads on any of our YouTube VODs, right? We don't run ads on the YouTube VODs. If you see ads on a Crash Gem tabletop game, it is because we use whatever music we want, and then the people that own the music run ads. We ourselves don't make any ad revenue money off of YouTube videos. Like we just don't. I get a very small amount of YouTube revenue money off of like that Roll20 series I made 5 years ago. That's the only YouTube money that is generated. Our games, they do not generate money. And I don't think they should because I run them as paid games. So like I shouldn't be making money off of you more than once, in my opinion. But I'm a bad business person, but there it is. So like the player streamers are not compensated. They don't get like a discount for being a player streamer. So like I want to support the player streamers. And like someone like Lex, he loves streaming video games, right? So like it would be nice if there was an incentive for watching him do his non-Crash Gym stuff, watching him stream his other D&D games, watching him play his video games or whatever. So like, I was like, yeah, you can, now that you're affiliate, you can also have Fanspiration on there. That would be cool. Well, I mean, Lex streams a lot, like a ton. And so it's very easy to watch Lex's channel and earn channel points on Lex's channel and then use them to buy Fanspiration. And Lex doesn't offer anything else really for his channel points, right? So they're just used by people to get Fanspiration. And you allow Fanspiration in Strength of Thousands. I don't remember if you did for Cyberpunk or not.
I did.
I know you did for Monster Hunter. I know we convinced Ashwin to do it for Abomination Vaults. And I think he maybe regretted it a little bit. And like, it's fun and it's cool and it's like, yeah, people care about us and we care about each other. But this past year, I just feel like the vibe of Fanspiration has very much shifted from this is a fun, like, special thing that people do to like, this shit's getting farmed like WoW gold by small children in foreign countries. You know what I mean? Like I feel like people aren't watching the player streamers and engaging with them and like supporting them. They're literally just farming them for this Fanspiration. We're not getting like audience participation. We're, you know, like, and it's like Conti like walked me through like all the automation stuff you can do to make it really easy to like just like auto log in and watch the streams. And like, you know, the more streams you watch in a row, the bigger bonus you get to what you earn. Yep. And then if you have a paid, there's like different tiers. I had no idea. There's like different tiers of subscription. So like if you subscribe to my channel at like a higher tier, you unlock stuff even faster and like so on and so forth. So like, I don't know. We got to a point where we got people going around with like 10 and 20 Fanspirations. We got people specifically getting it for individuals, which I'm guilty of. My beautiful wife gives Lotus specifically Fanspiration. And like, it feels pretty good to have special Fanspiration, but also like, it creates a system of like pay to win. And like, pay to win should only be for Extra Life. And I just feel as a storyteller, as a game designer, as a person that's trying to run an equitable and fair experience, that the Fanspirations, I just don't like the vibe for the past year or so, where it's just like, if things look bad, people are like, hold on, pause the whole session, I'm gonna go to a channel and I'm gonna buy some Fanspirations. And it's like, God, that sounds bad. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like we're at an arcade and you're like, yeah, I just gotta go cash in for some more quarters, because that's all this game is, just a quarter muncher. Like, I don't have to think up a real solution to this problem. I don't have to deal with this hard situation. I'll just buy my way out of it with these points I farmed. You know, it's like, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it as a player either. Like, I don't want to fail any classes in Strength of Thousands, but like at the same time, if you fail a class, you fail a class. You know what I mean? Like, there is a story to be told in failing. Failure is not losing. Do you know what I mean? Like, failing is a part of telling a good story. If everything always works out, it's not a very good story. Like, there have been so many cool monster abilities that you have tried to drop on us, that I have tried to drop on people, that we never even get to see, because everybody always has enough rerolls to, you know, like this. I'm not happy with it anymore. And so my gut instinct was like, let's just get rid of it altogether. But there was quite a few people who messaged me directly or talked to me in person directly, and they said, this is a nice part of like the small community that we've built, where like we support each other and we support each other in our games, and like this is a resource that we share. You shouldn't get rid of it. So I thought about limiting how much can be used per session, but then the argument there was, if you've got a group of 5 or 6 players and they're only allowed to use 1 Fanspiration per session, now you're going to have a breakdown of like, well, I'm the one that bought these Fanspirations, so I should decide how they get used, and like dumb shit like that. So like, you had the idea of like, what if we did like a blanket buff that they spend a Fanspiration at the beginning of the session and they get a random buff from that Fanspiration. And I think that is the right direction to go. And then it turns out that the Leah and Darby combo, they're working on that for their Carrion Throne or whatever campaign. So it's like another one where it's like, hey, that could work, right? Like you get a buff at the beginning of the session. It's random. You don't get the buff if you don't have a Fanspiration to spend, so there's still like an incentive to give a group Fanspiration because you do want them to get that benefit.
Adding on to that, I've been making that list, and I started already. I got 12 of them already. I'm trying to get 8 more. And another thing I'm planning to do is make it so that if you want to spend more Fanspiration at the start of the session, we can roll a few times, and then as a group, you guys can pick one.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I have that in my own notes too. So let me pull that up real quick.
I think I sent you a link to the ones that I made so far too, if you want to take a look at them.
Yeah, I'm gonna open yours. I'm gonna open Darby and Leah's also, and I'm gonna open mine. Let me see. Where is it? All right, mine's called Harrow Deck Manifesto. So let me get that open. Let's see. There we go. And then Dom sent a link. Oh, you put yours in Foundry. Let me go check. Or in Discord.
Yeah, I put it in Discord. Yeah.
Under Pathfinder. There we go. All right. Oh, in this stunning white. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, so bright. Hold on. Let me grab.
How do you change it to dark mode in Edge? Because I always have a problem. It can never be dark mode.
So the secret cap is I'm always in dark mode because I have a template I built that is always the dark mode template. So all of my documents are always my default template of white on black. So I'm actually not displaying in dark mode. I just use a template that's always dark mode. Yeah. Okay. I did this. He doesn't think I care about him. Okay, he doesn't think I care about him. But I started doing this for Remy because Remy said that he just can't read if it's not in dark mode. And so during Outlaws Prime, there was a lot of documents they had to read, and I was just like, all right, fine, I'll figure out how to make you a dark mode document. And then after I started doing it, I was like, this is much better. This is much better.
Template.
So yeah, you go to like file, and then it's like page setup, and you can see how my page color is black. So I do that, and then it says save it as default in the bottom left corner. Yeah. And then you go to your text, and then you can change all of your text to be, however you want. So every document I do, the title always is this really weird font, and then all of my headers always look the same, and then everything's formatted to be white. Now, it does kind of break down a little bit when you like paste in a link, because then you got a blue link on a black background. It's a little hard to see. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. All right, let's grab the Darby Leah one real quick.
Oh, that's so much better.
Right? It's nice. Let's see. Do that. Okay. File. View. Zoom. Fit. Okay, I don't want to give away too many spoilers for Carrion Crown, but apparently Carrion Crown does have some Harrow deck tie-ins. So they were looking at how they could incorporate the Harrow deck to be a buff system for their game also. So it's kind of neat because none of us were like, let's all do this. We were all kind of like heading in that direction independently, and I think it's interesting that we came up with a lot of similar stuff. All right, so this is what I had. So my more complicated approach was, where is it? Here we go. The group will be offered a chance to draw from the Harrow deck at the beginning of a session. It takes 1 Fanspiration to draw from the deck. A group can spend 1, 2, or 3 Fanspo to draw from the deck that many times. Drawn cards are removed from the deck. A fresh deck is shuffled and used once the deck runs out of cards. So 1 draw, all PCs benefit from the drawn card for the entire session. And then 2 cards, each PC chooses 1 of the drawn cards to benefit from during the session. So if there's 2 different cards, you as a player, like if there's 4, 5, or 6 players, each player gets to pick 1 of the cards to benefit from during the session. Which is what you're talking about with yours, right? Where they could roll on the table more than once, and then they could pick, or are you saying they could have both benefits?
No. So they roll. You spend a Faxpiration, you get a roll. The buff shows up. This is the buff that's going to be applied to everybody for the session. Or you guys spend 2 Fanspirations, you roll twice. You guys see what the 2 that were rolled. You pick 1 that's going to be the buff for the whole session.
Oh, okay. So you're saying the group has to decide together?
Fanspo is for the group, not one person.
Right. But like how I'm proposing, if I did it this way, is that you draw for every card drawn. You can draw up to 3 cards. Each player can pick the one that's best for them. So you are creating like a menu, and then each player can be like, I'll take that buff, and then this person will be like, I never use strength, so I don't want to take that buff.
So I tried to make my buffs very, very ubiquitous to work for everybody. Maybe I'll think about it.
Even then, like as a support caster, my needs for Lotus are so different than everyone else. Like very rarely do I get hero cards and I'm like, these are great. You know what I mean? Because like the hero cards are made for fighters. You know what I'm saying? The hero cards are made for fighters. So if you draw 3 times before a session, which is pretty expensive, that's 3 Fanspirations, each PC chooses 1 of the drawn cards to benefit from during the session, and the group may choose 1 card that is returned to the deck for future draws. So if they go big money and they do a 3 draw, not only do they have more options for who gets what, but then they can also return one of those cards to the deck, which means they're going to see it again. So if there's one that they really like, they can keep putting it back in the deck. Now, this does...
So even if the one that they pick can go back to the deck?
Yeah, even the one they pick can go back to the deck. But I felt like that's pretty enticing, and that's going to definitely make groups want to have enough Fanspiration that they can spend 3 at the beginning of every session, because just spending 2 doesn't feel as good as spending 3, right? Because 3 actually gives you that extra benefit. The problem here is all of this is untested. So if there's 1 card that's a real broken ass card, and they're like rich with Fanspo, you're going to see that card forever, because, you know, eventually the deck will run out, right? Like eventually they can't spend 3 to pull only 1 card, right? So when so that would sort of reset the deck. But yeah, I feel like you're going to see, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's kind of fun, right? And it does reward groups that have more Fanspiration without it being like we literally get to re-roll anytime we want for any reason. Like, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that as a player, and I'm tired of that as a DM. Yeah, Cadenix is a Magus Psychic, right? So really, he's got 1 trick that he does, like a broken Charisma caster in 5e, and unless there is like that 1 rare card that's like you can upcast a spell to a higher level, there's really not a lot that benefits you in that deck. Like, they really do feel those hero cards like this is for fighters. This deck is made for fighters. So anyways, that was my original idea. And then I started digging into it. I was like, yeah, okay, each card should provide a static status bonus for the entire session themed to the card. Additionally, each card should provide a one-use ability or boon also themed to the card. And then Cadenix had suggested, I was talking to him today about it, that if you use the one-time boon, you burn out the buff and you don't have it.
That's what I do the exact same. I have the exact same thing in the list that I made.
All right, beautiful. Our huge, beautiful brains are just like in the same ballpark. That's fantastic. So the reason I'm arguing for a status bonus is the Harrow deck is magical, fate-bending entity, blah blah blah. Item bonuses should be reserved for gear, and circumstance bonuses are easily accessed. So how many times do people like, I want to aid you, and it's like, I am an investigator, I never need any help. You know what I mean? Like, circumstance bonuses are so common once you get used to playing the game that, like, having yet another circumstance bonus, it just doesn't feel very good. If you think that this is going to step on the toes of spellcasters, I assure you it is not. Because then we don't have to cast spells for this shit. We could use our spell slots for other stuff that's cooler than giving you a +1 bonus to something. So with the cards themselves, I went and got this document that talks about all the cards, and I started working through it. Now, without too many spoilers, it turns out that the adventure, Stolen Fate, is about the Harrow deck. Gasp. And the cards are all detailed, all 54 cards are detailed in the 3 books of that adventure path, and each of those cards is a magical item. You can have them equipped, and they will give you a passive bonus, and they will give you an active bonus. So there is certainly a temptation to just be like, oh, well, you guys just benefit from this card. The end. And then it's already built into Foundry. You don't have to do anything. Like, that would be great. Here are the problems with that. One, the cards are wildly imbalanced. Some of them are so bad, like you would never use it. Some of them are so specialized, like the Paladin. He gives you shield block, and if you already have shield block, you get an extra reaction to shield block with. That sounds pretty dope if you use a shield. You know what I'm saying? If you don't use a shield, it's like, well, okay, I can shield block, I guess, for one session. For one session, I can shield block. So it does kind of like break down pretty quick. The other thing is, Stolen Fate is an 11 to 20 adventure. So all of the cards are tuned to be like a level 11 plus artifact level item. It's not really something that you would want to base your entire buff system on for a level 1 game. So while that would have been a really fun and quick solution, no. So then I was like, I'll just do it myself. I mean, 54, that's not a lot. It's a lot, Dom. It's a lot.
I'm struggling to make. I want to make 20 for mine.
So I started working through it, and like, here's a good example. The Paladin is lawful good from strength. There's like 6 different suits in the deck. They each represent one of the 6 core ability scores, and then within each suit there is the 9 alignments. So there's 9 cards across 6 suits for 54 cards total. Pretty cool. It's a pretty cool system. So the Paladin symbolizes standing firm in the face of adversity. The Paladin does not back down under any circumstances. This card usually indicates the need to stay the course or do what one knows is right, even if it takes a heavy toll. So I was like, okay, so the buff from the Paladin would be you get a +1 status bonus to resist forced movement and being knocked prone. Who doesn't want that? That's nice, right? I don't want to be pushed around. I don't want to be repositioned off of, like this is great. No one wants to get knocked prone. That's a death sentence. And then once per session, or once during the session, you may add a +2 status bonus to a DC, because, you want to help spellcasters out too, or check made to hold your ground or maintain your beliefs, GM discretion. Once activated this way, you lose the card's passive benefits. So that seemed pretty cool, right? Like, that's fine. Just do that 53 more times. It'll be great. So I moved on to the keep, which is neutral good, strength. A symbol of quiet strength, one that can move when necessary, yet stand firm through the greatest hardship. Those represented by the keep are not shaken by any force. If the keep appears misaligned, you don't need to worry about the misaligned stuff. But the bonus here is you receive a +1 status bonus to resist fear and become frightened, right? So that's pretty good. Nobody likes fear. Everything causes fear. You don't want to get feared. And then once during the session, you may reduce your frightened status by 2. Once activated this way, you lose the card's passive benefit. It seems fine. Only have to do this 52 more times. But then I started to think, like, 52 more times? That's a lot. That's a lot of times that I got to do this. Yeah. So then I was like, what if we just did it based on suits, right? So you draw from the deck, and then you basically have there's 6 different suits, and then whatever suit you draw, that's the benefit you get. So for the simple approach, I was like, all right, 1 draw at the start of the session, benefit is suit based. So if you draw a strength card, you would get +1 status bonus to athletic skill. And then you can burn out the card for a +2 status bonus to strength based attack or fortitude save. So that seems okay, right? Not as thematic as the other one, not nearly as cool, right, and exciting as the other one, but certainly does the job. So I was talking to Darby, and Darby's like, this is what we're doing, and I was like, oh, okay, let me see what you're doing. And then they also have it based on suits, which is pretty smart. But their suits are like, their cards are way strong, like, in my opinion. They're like, their abilities are really, really, like, overpowered. So let's see, Harrow card community. So they base it on the suits. So strength, dexterity, con, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. But what they do is every card has 2 bonuses it gives. One based on the suit and one based on the alignment. That's pretty clever. So now you only have to come up with 6 and 9. So 15 buffs, a lot easier than 54 buffs. You know what I'm saying? So that means that if you get a lawful evil strength card in their game, before a roll is made, you may spend this to gain, listen to this shit, Dom, a +4 status bonus to any d20 roll. But if you spend it after the roll, you get a +2 bonus. This is a fortune effect. You may also spend this card to grant an ally within 30 feet a status bonus to their roll, but the bonuses are reduced to +3 before a roll and +1 after a roll. Phenomenal. So strong. Like, crazy strong. For context,
any d20 roll.
For context, they are replacing hero card draws with these cards. So instead of getting hero cards, you would get these cards. So everyone's going to have 2 or 3 of these cards a piece every session. That's crazy. That's crazy. So down here, if it's a lawful evil strength card, you get that benefit, but also you can spend the card to cast the command spell as a 2-action spell. This command can affect undead regardless of if they have the mindless trait. The DC is equal to your class DC or spellcasting DC, whichever is higher. That's pretty cool. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, it basically creates like a mix and match. So you could use the whole Harrow deck, you draw it out, you see that, oh, this is the chaotic evil dexterity card. That means it grants you these bonuses and can be spent on these things. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that's a good balance between trying to come up with a cool ability for every card in the deck, which I think once you got to like the 30s, you'd be like, I hate my life.
I mean, that would have happened after 10, you know?
Yeah. So let's see what
you would see what you had left.
Yeah. Let's see what you've got cooking. Okay, we're gonna head over here to fan inspiration buffs. All right, I could do this all day. For the session, recover checks are DCs are max 10. Nice. Okay. So I have for constitution based cards reduce flat check for ongoing condition by 5. That's the activated ability. And so it's going to be like a status to do that. So I think it would
So
stack with a circumstance of like I'm on fire and you pour water on me, so it goes down by 5, and then I use this ability, it goes down by another 5. So like I don't know.
So
Yeah.
I made it so that all of my buffs are untyped bonus. So they're never gonna conflict with anybody having stuff to do, and they're just added on top.
That's really nice.
That-
That's even more
Yeah,
generous than that's way more generous than status.
Yeah, I made everything untyped.
So by making it untyped, that actually does give you some forward thinking in your design, because at higher levels you could justify not having to increase any of these numbers by the fact that at high level they're going to get the 3 normally, and now they're going to add yours as a 4th. Yeah, that's pretty.
I'm thinking I'm using this for Strength of Thousands, and Strength of Thousands is a 1 to 20 campaign, so I need to make these be able to be used the entire time.
Yeah, because the concern I had was, especially with my initial system of doing all 54 cards, is I would still have to go back at like level, say, 14, and probably increase all of the numbers by 1 across the board, at least, right? This way, with your system, you could justify not ever changing the numbers, because at low levels, you're not really going to have all 3 bonuses going at once. But at high levels, you have a very good chance of having all 3 going at once. And now this won't conflict with that. Yeah. So I like that quite a bit. All right. This is really strong, though. For the whole session, everybody's max recovery checks are 10. So they can't go higher than that. For example, if you're dying 3, your recovery check will be 10 instead of 13. That's fantastic, dude. That's fantastic. Trigger. You start your turn with 0 hit points, have not rolled a recovery check, free action. You heal 1 HP and stand up from doom. Wow! All 6 of, or all 5 of us could do that if we had this card. Wow! That's really strong.
Once you do it, you're doomed 1, and also you lose the benefit of the buff.
I do like the doomed 1. People who have not dealt with the Doom status do not know how bad the Doom status actually is.
The next one. Wait till you see the next one.
All right. Desperate turn. Your turn starts. Activation, free action. Effect, you gain an extra action for the triggering turn. At the end of the triggering turn, you are stunned 1 and doomed 1. God damn.
Doom 2.
Oh, Doom 2. Oh my god. All right. So you're saying that the extra action can be used on anything.
You just get an extra action.
Yep. All right, so the Darby Muffin, they have one where you get quickened 1, but it can be only used for strike and
this
stride.
stacks with quicken.
Oh, and this stacks with quickened? God damn! All right. Woo! This is so much more interesting to me than just Fanspiration being used for rerolls. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much more interesting.
And when I was making this, the thing I was saying, like, okay, these things are only going to be available for 1 session. And I'm okay with, for that 1 session, them having something, this is going to be when this gets used, it's going to be a moment, because the only reason why somebody would want to use this is they need to have that extra action to like do something crazy,
Oh,
and hopefully that'll be the last.
In chat, Tossed Right Out says, I don't know the details of it because I can never remember it, but the Hideous Laughter podcast has a Harrow deck bonus mechanic they use for their games that is pretty cool, but also complicated. Might be worth checking out. It's probably something where they're like, join our Patreon to get access to this. I was like, okay. Why not? 17 more Patreons. That's cool. I'm gonna check this out. Okay. Let's go back in here. I think between the 3 documents we have here, we could cook something up pretty good. I feel like we could all be using the same thing at the end of the day.
Well, I don't necessarily want to like make it Harrow themed for mine, because I'm planning to use this on almost all of my games, and not all my games are themed around Harrow.
Okay, but what if I told you that Harrow is the building blocks of all reality and creation in the world of Galarian?
Sure.
I mean, that's...
I'm a Monster Hunter game.
In Stolen Fate, the Harrow deck is like central to the plot, and it very much is like, oh yeah, this deck kind of represents like the building blocks of creation sort of thing. Yeah. So for me, it doesn't feel like much of a stretch to just put it in everything. But I could see you know, you kind of wanting it to not be there if you don't like the themes or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like it could really like solve a lot of problems. If like you just draw from the deck, it gives you that spice. And I do love the Darby Muffin combo of like the suit and the alignment, because then it feels like a deck of cards where it's like the ace of diamonds is different than the ace of spades kind of thing. Like, yeah. I'm into
No,
that.
I think it's great. I think it's like for what you call it, Stolen Fates and for the Carrying Crown game.
Yeah.
I think it's like 1000% thematic and like awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm playing in that game, so I can't wait.
Sweet. All right, so let's see what else you got. Empowered, Fortitude, Reflex, Will. You gain an untyped +1 bonus to your Fortitude save and DC for the session. So this is 3 different ones here. This is three different ones. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then trigger. You're about to make said saving throw, but have not made the roll yet. You are under the effects of this, and then. What happens? What's the effect? The next, increase the degree by 1. I like that. I thought it was going to be like, I thought it was going to give yourself advantage or something. That's really cool.
And it also stacks with, if you have or if you're already a master and you get a critical failure, it goes to a failure. This will stack on that and increase it by 1 again.
Wow. Okay.
But once you use it, it's gone.
Yeah. Okay. And then that covers 3 right there. That covers 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna steal all this stuff.
Go for it.
Let's see. Then we got Keen Senses. You gain an
same thing, but for perception.
Okay. The next perception check increases by a success of 1. What if I roll perception for initiative? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Hell, damn, that's strong as hell, dude. That's strong as hell. You lose. So what I had for perception was wisdom-based cards. You get a untyped +1 bonus to medicine, nature, perception, and survival. But then you get a +2 bonus to a will save. So that's it. You burn it out just to get a +2 bonus to a will save, which is not as good as 1-step increase, for sure. But yeah. All right. Let's see what else you got. There's no penalties on these though. Why'd you penalize these other ones but not these guys?
Because they're very strong.
Oh, these cards are very strong, or the ones that are getting penalized are very strong?
The ones that are getting penalized are very strong and have like a passive and an active.
Yeah.
Like these right here have a passive that's constant and an active. The other ones pretty much their main thing is they're active, and their active is very strong, and their passive is very strong.
Yeah.
Like this is just a +1 bonus, whereas the other one is reducing all recovery checks to 10.
I mean, this is the kind of thing that if my players drew 3 cards and they could put 1 back, I feel like I could do this all day effect would be put back every time. Like every time. I'm
okay with them spending 3 fact spells just to try and get 1,
Yeah. Let's see. Keen Senses, Quick Aid. Trigger. An ally within 30 feet is about to make a skill check, perception check, or attack roll, but have not rolled yet. Frequency once per 10 minutes. Well, okay.
So you during the session, you have this ability, and you can use it once per 10 minutes the entire session.
Oh, wow. You're allowed to keep using, so this one doesn't burn out.
This one doesn't burn out, yeah.
That's nuts. All right. Activation does require a reaction. You perform the aid reaction without the need to spend an action to prepare. Bonkers, dude. Bonkers. I mean, most people, though, that have reactions are going to want to hold on to the reaction.
But when you don't?
But when you don't. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, recharge. For this session, anytime a resource is used, make a flat d20 check. A flat d20, it's a 5% success rate. On a success, the resource is refunded. This flat check cannot be affected by fortune or misfortune effects. And this one doesn't. Oh, there's an activated one too. Okay. So trigger, you spend a resource. You recharge 1 of the triggering resource. This includes, but is not limited to, magic items, a spell slot, a focus point, or a hero point. If there is confusion on what counts as a... Man, so you're going to give 5 extra hero points in a session for this?
Well, no. If you decide to use the trigger, you can give yourself back a hero point.
Well, that's what
If
I
you use the
mean.
trigger.
I mean,
Yeah.
holding out hope for a 5% chance to recharge an ability versus 100% getting an extra hero point. I feel like
Yeah.
might as well
That
just get the
session
extra
you guys
hero
got
point.
that. I mean, that session you guys spend a Faxpo, and if you want to use it on that, you get your hero point back. You get an extra hero point for this round, this session.
Dang. All right, what do we got here?
I mean, it's only for this session, so.
Choose one damage type. For this session, you gain resistance to that damage type equal to half your level. Trigger, you are about to take damage, but the damage hasn't been rolled yet. You gain resistance to that damage type equal to half your level. Oh, that's cool that they get to pick. That way, if they are, yeah, okay. You change the damage type you choose for the resistance effect, and you keep the damage resistance until the start of your next turn. For 6 seconds or sooner, and then you lose the resistance effect. Oh.
So if you're about to get hit, and this hit is not the damage type you pick, you can choose to burn it out to change the damage type for the attack, and then it goes away for the rest of the session.
I feel like you got to be real down bad to get rid of your persistent resistance to essentially avoid one round.
It could be the one that killed you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe that persistent damage will not kill you.
Oh, I follow you. I follow you.
Yeah.
Okay. Specific training. Pick one trained, not expert, master, or legendary skill. For the session, that skill gains an untyped +2 bonus to its check and DCs. And then the activated one, you are about to make a skill check with this trained skill, but have not made the roll yet. The untyped bonus increases to +4, and then you lose the bonus. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Alright, so spontaneous training. For this session, all skills gained an untyped +1 bonus to checks and DCs. Okay, that's pretty cool. You are about to make a skill check with a skill, lore included, you are untrained in and have not made the roll yet. You become trained in the triggering skill for the triggering skill check. So trained at the lowest level just means that you get to add your level
plus 2.
Level +2.
And whatever attribute is tied to it.
Gotcha. That's pretty good.
If you're caught in a situation where you got to use a skill check that you're not trained in, then this can help you.
Okay. I mean, already, right? Like, to me, this is more interesting than Fanspo just being another reroll. Yeah. Like, it definitely feels more interesting and exciting. For this session, you have an untyped +1 bonus to all recall knowledge checks. At the start of your turn, flashback ready, free action. You have a flashback related to your current situation that affects the current situation. Example, you bought an item from the store that would have been useful in the situation. This is limited to one item and has a gold limit equal to half your level, up to 10. I mean, but you still have to spend the money, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You spoke with a friendly NPC, read a book about the creature. Counts as a successful recall knowledge check. Wow. Okay. This is only a success though, not like a critical success.
It depends on the flashback. This is gonna be something that's role played.
That feels pretty arbitrary. This is not limited to these examples only. Feel free to be creative, but the final effect is determined by the GM. Allies with flashback ready can join in your flashback if all involved do so. This counts as the allies using the effect activation, and then you lose the flashback ready effect. Okay, that's pretty cool. And you want to come up with what? 9 more? You said 6 more?
8 more. I need 8 more. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to try and get a table of 20.
All right. Well, these are the ones that I mean, I read the 2 to you that I had before, but when I was thinking about just doing it based on suits, I was looking at, what do the different stats kind of represent, and I was like, you could just do a +1 bonus to the related skill, and then the burnout would be somewhat related to it. So for charisma, it is if a creature within 30 feet is making a check, provide a +2 or -2 status to that roll. So it's kind of like a Bardic Inspiration / Cutting Word situation. So I thought that was kind of cool. I feel like there's not enough opportunities, and as the GM, like, that doesn't like silvery barbs, I'm gonna put this out here. There's just not enough ways to mess with the bad guy's dice. I have heard of groups that allow you to spend a hero point to force the enemies to reroll. I guess non-boss enemies to reroll their dice. I don't think that's bad. Like, making non-boss monsters reroll a die is kind of hype. Because, again, as a support caster, I mean, how often do I need a hero point versus a fighter? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I just don't roll a lot of dice. But, man, isn't it kind of the same thing that a fighter gets to try twice for a critical hit, but I don't get to try twice to get a spell to land? Do you know what I'm saying? So, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
I usually the argument to that is that your stuff does something on a success and a fail,
right?
Like, rather than it's all or nothing.
I could definitely see having something like, if the monster is lower level than you, you could like make them re-roll it with a hero point. I could see that being okay, because you're not going to be fighting a boss monster that's lower level than you. And generally things that are lower level than you are going to fail their saves anyways. But if you really want to land like a spell against like a weaker opponent, I mean, and you want to spend your hero point, I don't really see the harm in that. I don't know. What was the idea you came up with based on that?
So, thinking about the status bonuses, I know that there's a debuff that's tied to almost every, like, clumsy is the dexterity.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe there's something that the passive is sort of a buff to the skill checks that are related to that.
So we just go into those status effects and just reverse them. So instead of clumsy, it's like precise or something like that. And
something like that, yeah. But the thing with those is that clumsy does a lot. But I was just saying, like, and then so you can burn it out to either remove that effect on yourself. So if you're clumsy, you can burn it out to remove clumsy on yourself.
Nice.
Or you can make it so that it affects an enemy that you affected. So if you cast a spell on them, not only does it does whatever the spell does, you can burn out your buff to make them clumsy, or burn out. And if for same thing for an attack, you can make an attack. You can put all the imp into it, burn out the buff, and make them clumsy for the attack.
Right. Yeah. That's good. It's good, but situational for sure. So.
But like the passive, that if you don't burn it out, you just gain. You're just better in that stat. So if it's strength, you're better. You're gonna be better at.
Just like a straight up +1 to everything related to strength.
Like you get a +1 strength for this session.
That would be pretty sick, actually, and a really simple way to do it too.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. All right. Hold on.
So you just get a +1 strength for this session, and that's gonna be really good because you'll. And then you can burn it out to either enfeeble or remove enfeeble from yourself. And like, I would probably make it so that if you burn it out, it removes any level of enfeeble on yourself. So if you're enfeeble like 3, you can burn the buff to remove the enfeeble altogether, regardless of what level it is.
Gosh. Giving up a +1 to your strength so that you could burn out enfeeble. I don't know. I don't know too many people that.
Well, I mean, enfeeble 1, yeah, you wouldn't do it for that because that's the same thing as if you kept it, right?
Right. Yeah.
If it's enfeeble 3. And you burn it, and you lose +1 strength to take away to gain back 3.
I think drained is the Constitution one, right?
Yeah, drain is the Constitution one.
So
yeah.
There's enfeebled, clumsy, drained, fascinated is wisdom.
I think stupefied.
Stupefied is intelligence.
Covers all 3. I think.
Oh.
So.
Well, what I mean, fascinated just kind of sucks, but
fascinated doesn't make you have any problems with I think I guess it removes perception, but it doesn't do your will saves.
So stupefied just gets covered by all 3 brain stats.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, Drained is obviously, like, I would burn out to get rid of Drained. Drained's pretty terrible. Drained's pretty terrible. Yeah, that's not bad. Other stuff I had was, for Dex, it was +2, to get a bonus to Dex-based attack roll, or reflex save. Con was reduce your flat check by 5. Int was a bonus to initiative. Wisdom was a bonus to a will save. And then the charisma one that we already went over. And then I had like the card specific ones, but again, 54 times. That's a lot of times to go through and do that. I also like the idea of simplifying it based on the suit, just giving you a bonus to the stat, and then you could burn out to get rid of it, because then the alignment one, you could be a lot more flavorful, I guess, with the alignment based one. Do you want to hear the alignment based ones from the Darby Muffin document?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Redacted. No, we don't want redacted. Go back up. Let's see. Alright, if you are lawful good, spend this card at the start of your turn to add half your level, rounded up, to your strikes as positive damage. That's kind of hype.
Good for the game. That game.
Yeah,
considering what I know.
Yeah.
What we've been told about it.
And I mean, that's just pretty hype in general. If you have like a monk or a ranger, like someone that's gonna land a lot of hits in a round, like that could be very, very good. Neutral good. Spend this card to cast the 1 action version of heal on a creature within range. The spell is heightened to half your level, rounded up. That sounds pretty good. Chaotic good. Spend this card to gain a +3 circumstance bonus to escape. You may spend this before or after the roll. That's pretty good. It being a circumstance bonus definitely, I think, balances out the +3. I think the +3 is pretty big bonus. So being a circumstance bonus, I mean, lawful neutral. Spend this card to get a +4 circumstance bonus on perception checks to sense motive. And I understand why it's a +4, because, you know, sense motive doesn't come up every session. So, like, that's cool. I would say that this is, so far, probably the weirdest one, in my opinion. The +4 circumstance to sense motive. True neutral. Spend this card to gain a one-time insight into
Sounds very campaign situational.
Yeah, true. Spend this card to gain a one-time insight into the future as per the spell Augury, heightened to half your level. Meditating upon the particular action in question requires 10 minutes, but has no material components. I mean, that's cool, but if I gotta do that 5 or 6 times in a session, it feels like it's kind of a pain in the ass. Chaotic neutral. Spend this card on your turn to gain a number of temporary hit points equal to your Constitution modifier. For the next minute, you enter a rage. Your clumsy 1 and your attacks deal an additional 4 damage or 2 damage if they have the agile trait for the duration. Once again, written by people that understand that Pathfinder is only for fighters and no one else. Like, as a spellcaster, what are you gonna do with this shit? You know what I mean? This is who wants this as a spellcaster? This ends early if there are no enemies and you can perceive, or you fall unconscious. I would say, or trigger a wild magic surge. If it's chaotic neutral, I feel like you could go into a crazy rage or trigger a wild magic surge. That feels good. That's right. Lawful evil. Spend this card to cast the command spell as 2 actions. We already talked about that one. Neutral evil. Spend this card to cast the 1 action version of harm on a creature within range. So balancing out the heal one from earlier. Chaotic evil. Spend this card to force an enemy within 30 feet to re-roll a d20. It must take the new result, and this is a misfortune event or effect. It's actually pretty good. So that's like 9 different effects that are all activation based. And then if the card gives you a +1 to its associated stat for the session, and you could burn the card out to cancel status effects related to that stat, I feel like now you've got a pretty decent variety, right? Because you have 54 cards, and they're going to have one of 6 primary things, which is the suit, and then one of 9. So you still have a reason to draw more than one card. And then I feel like you don't have to worry about making, like, if there's only 6 effects and you feel like they're only going to draw one card, you kind of want to make them like very general purpose and good. But at that point, if they're very general purpose and good, 5 to 6 people have them. Like, I don't know.
Which one was the barbarian, the rage one again?
Chaotic neutral.
Like if I draw the strength chaotic neutral and I'm playing a wizard.
Yeah. You're not having a good time, right? You're not having a great time. Yeah. And I just don't feel like any of these read like, if I'm a frontline fighter and I draw these, I feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe getting intelligence as a frontline fighter, you're like, I don't care if I get stupefied. I don't care if I have a +1 to my intelligence. So it does kind of balance out.
I mean, it helped. I mean, as a fighter, that's a -1 to your will save. So yeah, I'm still taking it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to get stupefied.
Yeah, true.
And then get commanded to drop my weapon.
Yeah. So once again, it
always benefits the marshal.
Always benefits the marshals in the system.
So I was saying, I try to keep everything away from more on defensive and exploration in the buffs that I made. Almost everything was based off of what you call it, either defense, something to help you survive, or help you with exploration in terms of like skill checks and stuff like that. I feel like that's when a lot of times that's when hero points and inspirations and stuff like that is being used, and more often it's to stop something bad happening.
Yeah, I think that I would probably take a mix of like your suggestions and their suggestions, and then pick the ones that are most appropriate for the 9 alignments. Like, I could do this all day is pretty sick. And it's obviously referencing, Camp America. He's like neutral good. Let's be honest. He's not really lawful good. Is he?
No, he's not. No, yeah, he's not.
He's
actually, honestly, I think he's more chaotic good than neutral good. Honestly,
that's true. He did go against his country when he felt his country was wrong. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Desperate Turn. Desperate Turn would be a good chaotic neutral one, right? Because, like, look at what you're willing to do here. You know what I'm saying? To yourself. Stunned 1 and Doom 2. That's crazy. The Empowered Fortitude Reflex Will. You could make that the neutral of each of the alignments. Like, you could make, Fortitude, Reflex, and Will. Like,
they're already tied to the suits too in that case, because Fortitude is Constitution. Reflex is a what you call it?
Yeah, the problem with that is if you're already giving the +1 bonus to the stat, like, you don't really need to get another. Yeah, you don't really need this anymore. Yeah.
You can just add the trigger to it then.
Yeah, true. And then the Keen Senses, I mean, I don't know how that would fit in an alignment-based theme.
Just wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah, then you got Quick Aid. Quick Aid definitely feels like it would be under good in some sense, right? Recharge. I could see if you add like a parasitic effect to recharge, like you steal a charge from someone else, maybe. Like that could fit one of the evil alignments. So that might work. Resistance, I could definitely see just giving that to the true neutral alignment, because I mean it's not really biased in any way, shape, or form, and you get to pick what it is. Yeah, so I feel like that could work for neutral. As far as the trainings go, again, see, for me, if I go the 9 alignments with the 6 suits and I keep the 6 suits really simple, yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. Overall, though, I think that your suggestions for the 6 stats, the 6 suits or whatever, combined with their suggestions for the 9 alignment abilities, that's enough right there. Like, I think that'll do fine. I'd probably swap their chaotic neutral one out for yours that lets you take an extra action, but then you're doomed and whatever. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty happy with this then. I think that's what I could do.
I might go scour through both you and Darby Muffin's document.
Oh, let me
Try and
share.
steal some stuff.
Yeah, let me share it with you then. There you go.
So I can make the other 8 that I need to make.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because I see I have the empowered, fortitude, will, and reflex. Those are defensive, so I maybe should make an offensive version of those.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna just copy their whole section and just add it as a tab on mine. That way, you don't get any spoilers for the campaign. All right. Carrying notes. All right. Cool. All right. I think it's time for me to go get some dinner. I'm feeling pretty good about this as a replacement. I had talked about how we could make it like special for each campaign, but I really like the Harrow deck. I have a physical copy of the Harrow deck that's absolutely gorgeous. That Paizo created that just is, every card is like holographic and shiny and gold foil and everything. They look amazing. And so like I do love the idea of kind of having that theme run through all my games, especially with how central I'm going to make Stolen Fate to my own personal multiverse. So like this feels good. Like I'm happy with how the direction that this is going. So, yeah. All right, cool. And then I got about, I don't know, 30 more mods I have to learn and go through. But you know, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about fixing Castle Ravenloft stairs at some point this week, so that people can actually use the stairs in the castle with teleport regions. That is very exciting stuff. Yeah. All right, man. I'm off to have dinner. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I hope you got some inspiration for finishing up your list of stuff too.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, everybody in chat, we got no game tonight. We got no game tomorrow. There's probably going to be some Baldur's Gate on Wednesday. We got no game on Thursday. We got a vodcast on Friday, New Year's resolutions. Saturday, rain or shine. Even if I got to run it for one player, going to play some High Noon. And then Sunday may or may not be the last day of Curse of Strahd Daybreak. So yeah. All right. Hope everybody has a great week, and see you next time.